Hey y'all, I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, creator of the original Crock Pet diet, and I hope you're doing well today. Charleston has just had winter arrive, and it's a chilly for us, 44 degrees and rainy and gross and wet. What I wanted to talk with you about today is GI stuff in pets, and it's one of those things that arrives suddenly with profuse announcement, if you will, and it happens to all of us. And so, hey Terry, how are you doing? And Lisa, good to see you. So it's just not fun for anybody. A friend of mine said that if they would create an alarm sound that was a dog retching, it would be the most effective alarm clock ever. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You hear that sound, whether it's your dog or your cat, and they're retching, and it's just like you are bolt upright at 3 o'clock in the morning, aren't you? So what do you do about this stuff? Because it's not an emergency every time. These guys eat weird stuff, or maybe we feed some food that's not quite in good shape as far as it's gotten a little bit of contamination or something of that nature. So what do? First of all, when is it a really serious problem and you really need to go to the vet? Well, if you see blood in vomit or stool, that's a pretty good indication this is not good. I will say that, and this is the thing my clients used to always, they'd get there and we'd want to do a stool sample to look for parasites. And of course, this poor dog or this poor cat is just flat empty at this point. So if you have the presence of mind as you are cleaning up the explosive results of whatever the heck is going on, put a little bit of diarrhea in a Ziploc bag or something like that. Yeah, I know it's gross, but it actually can be very helpful later if it ends up being that you need to take your pet to the vet. So when is too much too much? If your dog or cat has vomited more than 2 to 3 times, that's not good. And there are some, and especially if this is a pet that doesn't have ongoing GI issues, it is stunning how quickly you can get dehydrated from that number of times of vomiting. If your pet has had more than 3 to 4 episodes of diarrhea, again, not good, and they're getting dried out. So regardless of the cause, that's where something like fluids, whether they're intravenously or subcutaneously, can be of enormous help. If you've had if you've had a GI bug recently, you know how absolutely wiped out you get about sort of halfway through emptying the entire contents of your intestines into the toilet. So same thing for our pets. They get dehydrated really quickly. That makes them feel cruddy, just not fun. So provided that you're not seeing blood and the number of episodes are not too frequent, then what do? So, and especially, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, because often it is. If it's 1 episode of vomiting, no big deal, but do pick up the water bowl. The most common cause of another episode of vomiting is they vomited all this stuff up, they're now dehydrated, they go to the water bowl and tank down the water, and boom, 15 minutes later it's all back up. So pull the water up, wait 30 to 45 minutes, other than maybe giving them literally a sip or two of water to kind of rinse their mouths out. But wait 45 minutes or so, and then offer some ice chips or small amounts of water, and I'm talking literally spoonfuls at a time. So if you've got a little Chihuahua and you just say, here's a cup of water, bad choice. But if you, after that little pup, just literally a spoonful of water or some ice chips, like again, literally a spoonful, that's not so awful. So wait for a good hour to 2 hours. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Wait for a good hour to 2 hours before you offer large volumes of water, food, anything of that nature. Offer small amounts of water and ice chips. So literally, again, spoonfuls, no kidding. Now, with diarrhea, if they're not vomiting and things are, they're not feeling too bad and they haven't totally cleaned everything out, again, same idea, offer water, free choice. There's no issue with it coming back up. And in fact, what you can do is make a small rehydrating solution, and literally you're going to take a pint of water and mix in something like a quarter teaspoon to a half a teaspoon of salt, sort of depending on how many episodes of diarrhea your pet's had. Something along the lines of about 75 milligrams of magnesium and about 25 milligrams of potassium, and then maybe a little quarter teaspoon of sugar. And hello, Svetlana from Belgrade. Glad to see you joining us. So what that's going to do, so all of those electrolytes are lost when your pet has vomiting or diarrhea, and it's important to get them back on board because that's going to help your pet actually absorb anything that it eats or drinks going forward. And interestingly enough, sugar actually does help the electrolytes get back into the bloodstream more quickly. So that's why Gatorade is an extremely popular sports drink, although there's a boatload of sugar in there, and that's probably way too much. So anyway, that's a quick and down and dirty sort of electrolyte solution. So again, back to your pet. If it's vomiting, very, very, very small amount. So back to, you've got this pint of stuff mixed up, but literally you're going to offer a spoonful, and then maybe a few ice chips and that kind of stuff. Karen, good to see you. Glad you're joining us from all the way from Las Vegas, because it is not noon today there for you. It's a little earlier in the morning. If your pet is having diarrhea, same deal, but again, you can offer slightly larger volumes. Don't let them have that whole kind of volume of pint of water at the same go, and then let just kind of gradually add that in. So literally maybe an eighth to a quarter of a cup every meal. And what I'm going to speak of is in terms of meals, this will make a little bit more sense. So again, sort of if your pet's had GI upset, one of the most important things you can do is let the tract rest. So, oh my God, he must be starving. Piling on the food, that's often going to just make the diarrhea get worse. So, boil some turnips, rutabagas, sweet potatoes, whatever you've got handy, or white rice often is helpful as well. All of that fiber helps to suck up water in the GI tract, and so it slows the diarrhea down. And go slow. So again, 50-pound dog is kind of always my reference point. So you can, if your pet is lighter or heavier, you can make ballpark estimates off of that. So for a 50-pound dog, you're going to give them about a half a cup of this boiled up stuff, and then maybe a quarter cup of that pint of electrolyte solution I just mentioned to help them get rehydrated. Get it all nice and warm, and let them eat that and see if that doesn't help. Some other things that are extremely helpful with diarrhea are green clay. So in the office we used a standard process product called Colacol, which is green clay, bentonite clay plus bile acids. And then we've also used RX clay by Dr. Silver, and just add, say, a quarter teaspoon of the RX clay up to a teaspoon, and basically there's label directions on that. With a Colacol, 1 or 2 tablets, and again, vary on your, based on a 50-pound dog, 1 to 2 tablets depending on severity. Smaller pets get less, larger pets get more. I just was cracking up whenever anybody in the office got the GI evil spirits running through them. The bottle of Colacol was open, and it was stunning. Within 45 minutes to an hour, all the cramping and the feeling that you get because of the diarrhea and your GI tract being so upset, that stuff settles down so quickly. And it works very well for dogs and cats too. Granted, cats are always more of a challenge to convince them of the merits of some of these options, but they're out there. The other thing you can do is, if you've got some activated charcoal handy, is mix that in with that root veggie stuff. So that's very helpful as far as adsorbing the enterotoxins from bad bugs. So, whether it's food poisoning or something else, who knows what. Dogs do get rotavirus as well, believe it or not. It just sort of sucks up literally all the evil spirits. So enterotoxins are molecules that bacteria produce that just really wreak havoc in our GI tracts. And so if you can adsorb those enterotoxins and bind them up, then you're going to diminish the discomfort and the number of episodes of diarrhea that your pet's experiencing. So I hope that makes sense. I'll post that really sort of down and dirty recipe for the electrolyte solution below here in the comments. And Judy's got a question about her teacup poodle, and she's getting the poodle, but not sure of the age. And she's saying that they're telling her that he's got worms, and then I unfortunately cannot read the rest of the comment, but I'm sure it's, what should we do about that? And I think it's worthwhile to, if the breeder has seen worms, oftentimes they are tapeworms, which are horrible, gross, and disgusting, but by and large do not create a lot of GI issues. If they're seeing long spaghetti-like worms, those are roundworms, which are extremely common in puppies. And if they're saying that he's got worms because the puppy's got diarrhea, then frankly what I would do is take a stool sample to your veterinarian and ask them to test it, because there's a lot of things that can cause similar symptoms, and unless they're seeing those specific worms, as far as the roundworms or the tapeworms, you have no idea really which is which. Coccidia is a protozoal parasite that is very common in puppies, and they're pretty nasty and can create some discomfort. So get your veterinarian to check a stool sample, see what is there, what is not there, and then treat it appropriately. The thing you do want to do as well is this puppy's GI tract is already unhappy and out of balance. And so the thing you want to do is add in probiotics so that you can reestablish good, normal, healthy gut flora. And, the Claire products we've used for years are Crock Pet Therabiotic, or Probiotomax. Pardon my stumbling around, it's not going away. Anyway, Probiotomax on the website. They are high-dose products and really will help to turn things around very quickly. Same thing with your dog that's having diarrhea at home. If you've got probiotics, throw that in with the charcoal and the clay and the boiled root crops, and see if that doesn't slow things down. If your puppy does end up needing some sort of an antibiotic or something for the coccidia in particular, make sure that you give the probiotics at least 2 hours away from any antibiotic or other medication, so that that medication goes through the GI tract and the good bugs come in and sort of reestablish the flora, and your pup is back into a healthy state of being. And Janice, you are very welcome. So if you guys have got other questions, happy to answer them here. I do want to mention as well, I'm not sure if you saw the interview I did with Dr. Falconer a little bit earlier in the week on Tuesday, and we were talking about what do you do if your pet is bitten by or has attacked a raccoon that's acting funny. So there's some great information in there. I'm keeping that one pinned to the top of the page. If you don't know Dr. Will Falconer with Vital Path for Animals, he is a homeopathic veterinarian, and he has been in practice for 40 years. The first 7 to 10 were conventional practice, and he's looking around wondering, what in the heck am I doing? I'm not helping these guys. And so he took on an alternative path many, many years ago, and homeopathy is the thing that really has resonated with him and is what he uses along with other things to help treat his patients. He is offering a free 4-part workshop called Won't Get Fooled Again that discusses vaccines, food, all the major issues we're concerned about, and some simple options that you can use to help prevent your puppy or your kitten or your dog or cat from getting sick from these things. And that workshop is, again, completely free, great info to start with. He is also offering a natural rearing roadmap. And while that is geared ostensibly to people that are breeding dogs, it makes an enormous difference at any age for any animal. So I'd encourage you to check it out. It is not cheap, but it is a very sound investment in your pet's health. Not only the pet or pets that you have currently, but it is information that you will be able to apply to any other animal that comes into your life. And so the goal is to help these guys stay healthy without using all the chemicals and that sort of stuff. Harriet's asking, what's the process for subscribing to the Crock Pet program? And good to see you, Harriet. And you guys are off to the races with a happy, healthy young dog as well. And what we found is that the subscription process kind of didn't make sense. So what we have available now on our website at the original crockpetdiet.com are Crock Pet Diet Starter Kits. And essentially what that's going to do is give you access to the original Crock Pet Diet ebook, our Facebook community that's private, and where I'm able to help answer questions and get folks information that they need for their specific issues they're struggling with, and a jar of coconut oil and calcium citrate and a bottle of holistic total body support. So we've got a cat size, a small dog, so less than 40 pounds, and then a large dog size kit. And then going forward, what we found is that because we're trying to price holistic total body support, which is our glandular-based multivitamin, reasonably, it makes more sense for you to order it on an as-needed basis. We are working to add auto ship functionality to the website, because if you're like me, if it's on auto ship, it gets here and it's not a problem, and otherwise I forget. So that's coming. We'll be making an announcement about that probably within the next 2 weeks. We're doing some major revamping of our website right now. But be on the lookout for that. Those bundles save you 20% off of all of the products I mentioned. We're also going to have a store-wide sale starting next Monday, and just everything literally is going to be on sale. So that is what I've got for you guys today. If you've got more questions, please message us on our Facebook page, email us at support@theoriginalcrockpetdiet.com, and any way we can help you, please let us know. We've got some exciting new announcements coming up over the next couple of weeks that I think will make more sense for you getting specific help for your beloved puppy that's having trouble, or kitty, whichever, or multiple pets. If you're like me, we've got a house full of geriatrics, and they all have little teeny issues. We're kind of keeping all the balls up in the air right now, if that makes sense. So guys, many thanks for showing up today. I hope I've given you some good information, and I'll put the recipe for the electrolyte solution down below. And remember, your pet's best health starts in the bowl. Thanks so much, and take good care.